Hello friends, this is Chandrakant from Mac Technologies and welcome to TopBrass. Let me also welcome my friend from UK, Mr. Naval Goon.
Good morning, CK. Good morning, everybody. Day 2 of a beautiful week. And we've got some interesting news, in the outer atmosphere. Can we call space the outer atmosphere, do you think?
Well, you can call it a quantum space because atmosphere ends at 200 kilometers.
True.
But beyond that is quantum space. So it has something. It has ions, it has gravity, it has a little bit of atoms in the outer space. It's not completely void of material. It has a lot of material even in the void of the space, as we call it. But the great news is there are 2 asteroids which are going to fly by Earth. The chances of hitting Earth is very remote, but they are going to fly by Earth very close. And it's Tuesday today, so probably from some of the countries we can saw in the night. We can see in the night that these 2 asteroids will probably leave a trail in the upper atmosphere, and probably if somebody has a good telescope, they can see it also.
Oh, I'm sure we'll see NASA. NASA's streaming things live currently, as I saw earlier this morning. These are not small asteroids either. These are quite big, which is why they're leaving such a trail behind them. But as you say, fortunately, our scientists have already been able to predict that they're not going to hit the Earth.
Well, thanks to Mr. Johannes Kepler, in the 15th century, he created the law of motion for the planetary objects. So that still works, and I think it's very easy to calculate the path, looking at the speed and all that. So we are not going there, but I think these asteroids are substantially large. Both of them have a diameter of 19 meters, something like 55 feet. And if they were to hit Earth, they would have created a bit of a fireball situation. Either in the atmosphere if they break apart, or if they hit Earth, there could be a dangerous and disastrous consequences.
Yeah, the likelihood is if they'd got that close, they'd have probably just burnt up. But let's hope that it takes some of the space debris with it that we've been creating over the years. Maybe that's a way of paying back. But the nice thing about this is we can't control asteroids, can we? We can't control their movement. We can maybe deflect them a little bit if we send a rocket towards it and blow it up or something. But it's nature in action. We can't.
Well, there is a very interesting point that you raised. You say that we can't control the celestial bodies. That is, to an extent, is true to an extent. But here I will say something. See, there was a Russian scientist who created levels of civilizations, and the level of civilization based on how much energy output they use. So today we are at a level which is not even type 0 civilization. That means type 0 is, in fact, we are type 0, not type 1. The type 1 is the civilization which can control all aspects of their home planet. So you can control weather, you can control climate, you can control earthquakes, whatever happens with the planet. You can control everything. And the energy output, people can Google it. These are all mentioned on the Google. They can find out how much energy output will be used by the type 1 civilization. So since we are not type 1, we are type 0 or something like 60 to 65% of becoming type 1. So yet we don't have the technology to deflect the asteroids, but then a lot of work is being done. In fact, destroying asteroids is not the solution. The deflection is the solution. You can't, if you destroy the asteroid, the debris will come straight away, continue on the same path. But if you deflect them, the chances are then the planet can survive. So we don't have the technology yet, but there are methods of using for deflection. There could be a giant mirror which will focus sun's light make one side of the asteroid heat up, and that lighter, so that becomes lighter, and that creates an imbalance in the uh, path of the asteroid, and it can get deflected. The other way is very simple. You can send a giant robot on the asteroid which will paint one side of the asteroid white color, and then naturally the asteroids will get heat up and then change the path. So there are various ways of doing it. There could be new ways also which we will find once we achieve more advancements in our technology and start consuming more energy which is being sent to us from space. So I think the chances are that technology is developing, but I think in future we will be able to deflect dangerous celestial bodies.
Well, I think you're probably right. And the interesting thing is, I mean, I'm a Formula One fan, and they talk about slipstream. So you can have one car in front of the other. And because the car in front is punching into the air at 180 odd miles an hour, nearly 200 miles an hour, it's creating a sort of a little vacuum. And what it does is, obviously, that car can move through that slipstream quite well because it's punching a hole into it, but the car behind gets a drag effect. So I'm sure we've got some fantastic scientists around the world recognizing that if we create a huge pull from somewhere else, and I know there's no, we haven't got the air content that we have on the ground level here. So there's it's 1/10, I think, in space. Don't quote me on that one, but it's a lot smaller. But there's certainly the drag effect. You know, maybe so we can sort of suck it away by sending a rocket by the side of it and creating a drag. But all these scientists are, you know, clearly working on something out there. But there is something, we are connected. You know, quantum physics, quantum math says we are all connected in some sort of way. So we're slightly connected to the asteroids out there. So if you feel a little whoosh as it goes past, you're more connected than others, maybe. But the thing about today is we can't really control it. But there is one thing in life we can control, and that's ourselves. So for the rest of the week, just remember that you can control yourself. So control your actions going forward and have a fantastic week ahead.
Well, I have a point there also. Yesterday, I read in the newspapers that uh, either it's UK or US, I'm not remembering quite well, but some scientists have proven memory chip implant works in the brain of pigs.
Well, it's not surprising, is it? I mean, we can stimulate. I mean, there's been some amazing work done over the last 20 years about how you can stimulate certain electrodes in the brain. As to whether that's, you know, moving towards the Doctor Who version of Cybermen, you know, where your brain's controlled by somebody else, I'm not really sure. But you know, let's hope that these people that are experimenting in this way are using it for a greater cause rather than just to create another robot army.
Well, the point is we can control ourselves till the time we don't reach type 1 civilization. So control till the time you can.
And there you go. And that's how we're going to leave today. Enjoy the rest of your week, guys. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, Nevu. Bye-bye.